Every day, I get calls from school principals wondering how they can stop the teasing and the bullying happening on their campuses. So one day, I get a call from a principal who says, "Help me, please. I have one kid who's being a bully on my campus. She's just terrorizing the playground. Can you come out and help us?" And so I say, "Sure, we can come on out." So we agree to work with the school. We show up on campus on that day. And if you can imagine 100 little fourth and fifth graders all sitting on the floor, cross-legged, full of energy and excitement for this assembly to begin. So we start off by talking about how every single one of us has feelings, and especially feelings that we don't know what to do with. These are feelings that feel difficult, challenging, and hard to talk about. And so we teach them that we all have a place within us that sits right here, and it's called our balloon. And in our balloon, we put these feelings that we don't know what to do with. For example, if I wake up in the morning and I'm kind of sleepy and now someone's yelling at me, "Wake up, wake up!" And now I feel irritated and I'm a little grumpy and I'm mad. So I put those feelings inside of my balloon. Then I go off to school, and the teacher calls on me, but I'm still kind of sleepy, and I'm still kind of grumpy, and I don't even know what the teacher's talking about. So the whole classroom laughs. So now I feel embarrassed, humiliated. But what do? I just put those feelings inside of my balloon. And then I hurry out to recess because I cannot wait to play. And I realize that my friends started the game without me. So now I'm excluded. I'm left out. And I feel sad. And what do? Those feelings go inside that balloon. So here we are in this assembly talking to these kids about feelings. And I ask them if any of them have ever experienced a full balloon. And every little hand goes up. And then we ask if anyone right now might have a balloon so full that they might be doing hurtful or harmful things to other people. And the whole room goes quiet until one little hand in the back goes up. So we invite this kid to come to the front of the room. And as she's making her way up, from the reaction of all the other kids, we can tell this is her. This is that kid, that bully the principal was talking about. So she makes her way to the front of the room. She sits in the chair. And we say, "Do you have a full balloon?" She nods her head. We ask, "Have you been out there on the playground doing some things that maybe you shouldn't be doing?" She nods her head, yes. And we say, "Tell us, what's inside of your balloon?" And as the tears well up in her eyes, the entire room is leaning in. They have no idea what's really going on with this little girl. And she says, "I lost my best friend." And the whole room is absolutely confused because they have no idea who her best friend is. And we say, "Tell us all about your friend." And with now big, gigantic tears rolling down her face, she tells us that her grandmother died. She tells us about how much her grandmother loved her and how much she missed her hugs. How many of you right now can feel with and for that little girl? So something in that room changed right in that moment, Because minutes before, she was a bully, a terror on the playground. And now, she was a 9-year-old little girl with a grief-stricken, broken heart. So we give her an opportunity to tell us more about her grandmother, and she lights up at the opportunity. And then we ask if there is anybody in the room who would be willing to stand by her side, to be her ally, and talk to her about her grandmother, especially when they saw her doing hurtful or harmful things out on the playground. And you know what happened? Every hand went up because now they saw her pain. Now they saw her full balloon and they wanted to help. This is Generation Empathy in action. Instead of more punishment, instead of more discipline, there was now listening, compassion, and empathy. Now let's imagine that this moment did not happen for this little girl. Imagine her labeled a terror, a bully in elementary school. Imagine her in middle school. Imagine her in high school. How many more labels would be put on her? How many more names would she be called? And how many more ways would she try to empty that balloon in ways that hurt her and other people? And still no one would know about that broken-hearted little girl. Our lives and our world moves so fast. How often do we miss each other? How often do we not see each other's pain? What's there underneath, beyond what we can see on the outside? How often are you judged, the people you love? And how often do you judge and make assumptions about other people? And like that little girl, we all have a story. Like that little girl, we all have feelings. So take this moment right now and just notice, what are you feeling? Maybe something happened as you walk into this room today and you've got some feelings that might be sitting in your balloon. Maybe you're sitting there curious, joyful, bored. Just notice, what is in your balloon right now? What are you feeling? We've all been socially trained to not share what we're feeling on the inside. But what would happen if we took that risk and shared ourselves with each other? What would happen? What would our lives be like, our relationships, our connections? I know for me, growing up in my home, we did not talk about feelings. In fact, when I was growing up, I was often awkward and a shy little kid, and I'd go to school and not sure how to make friends, and it really left me lonely and sad. And so I put those feelings inside of my balloon. And in my home, there was alcoholism and there was violence, and I was often afraid and really scared. And I had no one to talk to. So I put those feelings inside of my balloon. And as a child of immigrant parents, I was raised to be invisible. And oftentimes I wanted to speak out and use my voice and be heard. And then when I didn't, I'd often feel disappointed and frustrated with myself. And I put those feelings inside of my balloon. And so as I stand here and I'm looking out at each of you, I wonder, what's inside of your balloon? What are the things that you carry with you every day that no one knows about? And what are ways that you deal with your balloon? Do you do hurtful or harmful things to yourself or other people to find some relief from that pressure? Or do you do things that are helpful and healthy so you can bring some ease to that balloon? Just notice, what is it like to really be you? And does anybody know? Every day at Soul Shop, the organization I work with, we get the opportunity to go into schools and support kids to empty their balloons in helpful ways. We have the opportunity to give them the tools that they need so that they can work out their problems together, so that compassion, forgiveness, understanding, and empathy can rise up. Imagine our schools with more empathy. Imagine our communities, our homes, our families with more empathy. Imagine if our medical world, our technology, our politics had more empathy. Imagine if our leaders led with empathy. What would our world be like? What would your life be like? No matter what sits inside of our balloons, every single one of us has good inside of us, just like that little girl. So I want us all to take a moment right now and just turn to the people that you are sitting next to, because I want you to see how easy it is to see the good. So go ahead, turn to the people next to you right now and just take a look. Can you see? Can you see the good? The good that is always there. Can you see the way they want to be of service? The way they want their lives to have meaning? The way they want to make a difference? Can you just see that good in each other? That good is always there, regardless of whatever might be happening on the outside. So what would it take for us to be as brave as that little girl, to be as vulnerable as she was in front of her entire class? And what would it take for us to be her classmate, to listen as open-heartedly as they did, in spite of all the previous behaviors and judgments? If we want a more compassionate and empathetic world, that's who we have to be. Together, we can raise Generation Empathy, the next generation of socially and emotionally empowered leaders. And it starts with us. Thank you.